Hi, everyone. Hi, Maxine. Hello. Ntombifikile. Welcome. Good afternoon. There's someone whose name says they are Samsung. Welcome. I'm assuming you're joining from your phone. We've got Sakani on the call. It'd be lovely to introduce yourself in the chat. My name is Helene Brandt. I'm the marketing manager for Grow. And my colleague Demetria is joining me today. I'll introduce her shortly. Hope you came with your questions, your ideas. We are going to discuss lots of practical tips and advice today. We also have, welcome Monique. Monique is joining us. I'd love for you to introduce yourself in the chat. Where are you from? What's your school's name? Demetria knows my favorite game to play is what is your school's name, because you have such beautiful names for your schools.
Yes, they have such lovely names.
Yes. Let's just give another minute or so for a few more people to join. Welcome everyone, you're in the right place at the right time. Thank you for being early. We have a small group today, so that means good news, because we can get into more details around the questions that you have specifically to support you with your school.
All right, there's a little bit blurred.
Hi, Sandy. Sandy, introduce yourself in the chat if you can. Love to know where you're from. Bele, Monique, Sakani, we'd love to hear from you. Where are you from? Your school's name. Hope everybody can type in the chat. Oh, it's Gloria and Corsi from Hope Worldwide SA. Have a network of 1,500 preschools across SA. Oh, wow, Gloria, that's incredible. So your name is coming up on my side as Monique Skoltz. So Gloria, if I accidentally call you Monique, I apologize. I'll try to remember. And then Sandy is from Masikule. Obviously, we know Masikule. You train ECD educators in the Helderberg area, Western Cape. Sandy, so nice to have you on the call. I'm based in Brackenfell, so very familiar with the Helderberg area. Lovely to have you here. Thank you for introducing yourself. This meeting is being recorded, and we will also share the recording by tomorrow. If you have any questions or ideas or comments, sometimes our guests have great comments and advice. Please use the chat and share that with us. And where possible, I'll also unmute you. Welcome, we have Bongiwe's joined us, Vanessa. If you have a minute, introduce yourself in the chat. I'd love to know where you're from, your school's name, and how we can be of any assistance. Right, joining me today is Demetria. Demetria's been working as a ECD business mentor and advisor for Grow for more than 4 years. She's based in KZN, so she has a lot of experience working with preschools in the Durban and surrounding areas. And today we're going to really dive into some topics. On the webinar, many people shared questions, burning questions that they have. And what we've done is we've tried to see what are the topics that are most of interest that people need help with. And we'll probably start off with those. But then please also feel free to share your questions or ideas in the chat, and we'll see if we can talk about those in more detail. Just want to welcome, I've got a few new people on the call. Shireen, welcome. Vanessa, I've said hello to you. Ongiwe, I don't think I've said hello to you. Shireen is from Happy Hearts Preschool in Durban. All right, let's go. I'm going to share my screen and we can start. So absolutely a warm welcome to everyone here. Oh dear. Screen is making something funny. Let's try that again. I hope you can see the warm welcome. Welcome everyone. My name is Helene. I'm the marketing manager for Grow. You're in the right place. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to try to be really practical and focus on some top questions that people have in our ECD business coaching and mentoring session. So this session will be quite informal. I have a lot of slides. We'll go from different sections to different sections, depending on what you ask, depending on what you feel you need help with today. We do have specific webinars on specific topics. So let's say you really are struggling with registration. We have a full webinar on registration, we have online training on registration. So it would be impossible for us today to answer something like registration in full detail. But let's see how far we can go and what direction we can give you. For those of you who don't know us, Grow is a nonprofit organization. Our purpose and the reason we get out of bed every morning with a smile is that we want to empower the people who are educating the next generation. And that primarily means working with ECD Centre owners, but also working with other ECD organizations and stakeholders and partners. We equip and we connect ECD businesses with the skills and the support and the resources they need so that they can provide 5-star early learning for every child. And you'll hear us talk about having a heart for children and a head for business a lot. We really feel that ECD businesses or ECD centers need to see themselves as businesses and that they have to have both sides of the coin. A heart for children, which is the commitment and the passion to make sure that young children are learning through play and thriving and ready for life, not just school. But at the same time, you need to have a head for business so that you're running your preschool professionally and that you are building a ECD center that's sustainable so that we can have impact, not just today, but for the next generation as well. Demetria is my guest. Demetria, I think I need a new photo of you where you're smiling because you're so gorgeous. Demetria is based in KZN and she's been working with ECD centers for a few years now. She's probably seen everything, probably won't be surprised when you ask her a question. Some of you still have questions about how does Grow work with preschools. Today is not a sales pitch, so I want to do this very shortly so we can get into your questions. I think it's important to understand a little bit more about how Grow works with preschools specifically. If you're from an organization that works with preschools, then such as Hope or Masikule, there are also ways that we work with those partners. But this is specifically how we work with preschools if they approach us one-on-one. So first of all, we've made all the processes, tools, and resources that you need is the basic resources and tools and systems and processes you need to run your preschool available to centers across the country for free through our app. The reason we want to do that is essentially to provide it as a gift to the ECD sector to say, this is what we're using at Grow branded preschools who are our partner schools. And if they're using it and they're finding so much value from it, why not just make it available to everybody for free? There are very few tools on the market that's essentially a one-stop shop. I would say you're the CEO, the chief everything officer. The chief everything officer. You have to do marketing, HR, fundraising, finances, operations, logistics, the curriculum, the training. So you need a one-stop shop, a central place where you can manage your preschool, and the free app is where you start. We'll tell you more about that later. Grow also has an ECD small business program for those centers who are interested in investing in the quality education in their center. So curriculum, classroom kit, teacher training, and education mentoring, and which is essentially hard for children. And on the head for business side, we have business support tools, which includes business training, access to low-cost finance that's only available to preschools, business mentoring, and registration support. And then finally, Grow does still have partner centers. So partner centers are sign a collaboration agreement with Grow, and they're co-branded as proud partners of Grow. And these are centers that we believe epitomize truly the values that Grow has, and want to be in a co-branded partnership with Grow. Okay. Don't know if there's any questions, but I'll check that in a minute. Grow, so we have offices in Cape Town, Midrand, and in Durban. Our app is free nationally for anybody to use. And we work with preschools who are part of other programs. So let's say you are currently using, you partnered with Unlimited Child, and you're using their curriculum, and that is fantastic. We don't want you to stop doing that. You can still use the technology, for example, to do your learner assessments on a quarterly or twice a year basis as a complementary to what you already have. So Grow does work with other programs and initiatives. You can absolutely keep working with your other program partners. You don't become a Grow school just because you're using the app. Just wanted to clarify that, please. We work with other ECD organizations and nonprofits, and later I'll tell you a little bit about our ECD Business Accelerator, which is an amazing boot camp, like a masterclass boot camp accelerator. I don't all those words in one, to really help you start running your preschool like a business. There's a couple of things Grow doesn't do. Demetria, have you heard of this one? Last week, someone contacted me because their colleague or an employee is busy studying ECD at Grow, and they just verify. They wanted to verify the certificate, the ECD certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, Grow does not offer accredited ECD qualifications. So if you're seeing that document, it's probably Googled, made up from an image. So the training we offer really focuses on continuous professional development and practical training, because let's face it, teachers are always learning. I find that incredible. Teachers are always developing themselves further. Grow also does not hand out free donations. So if you're here today, you want to know about how Grow can send you lots of toys and equipment, I'm sorry. We don't open new preschools. So there are over 40,000 preschools already operating in South Africa. We feel that our mandate is to support the people who have already made the commitment and show the resilience to run preschools. And that's why we don't open preschools. We work with people who already run preschools. We don't register your center with DBE, but we do have amazing and free registration support tools. So if you are struggling with registration and you need guidance, we can absolutely give you access and advice. And Grow does not take over the ownership of preschools. We don't own any preschools. We're essentially a service provider. And we don't charge you for using our app. So if someone says, you know, here's the app, but you have to pay 500 Rand to download it, that's probably also just a very creative South African creating their own illegal small business. All right, tongue in cheek. Demetria, we got a lot of questions from people when they registered for the webinar. Some of the top questions related to registration, fees, staff, quality education, business management, fundraising, a lot of things. So I'm going to go to one of the first questions now, which I got from quite a few people, which relates to what qualifications you need to run a preschool and what qualifications your teachers need. And as you go through that, I'll have a look in the chat and also see what other questions we have.
Thank you, Helene. Afternoon, everyone. So essentially, in order to meet the minimum requirements, your staff needs to have at least grade 7 or an ABET level 1 or higher qualification. Okay, and the staff also needs to be trained on ECD or early childhood development. Okay, and obviously you are not allowed to use physical punishment. As far as the principal is concerned, she needs to have an ECD NQF level 4, and the teachers as well need to have an NQF level 4. And when it comes to the supervisor or the head teacher, she needs to have at least NQF level 5.
Awesome, thank you very much. Oh, I'm seeing in the chat that we just have one or two new people I want to say hello to. Vanessa is based in the Western Cape. Hi, Vanessa. And they have a special needs home in Durbanville. Okay, and we're opening a school in the Western Cape soon. Excellent. Wow. And then we have Bongiwe. She says that she's currently doing her final year Bachelor's of Education Foundation phase at the University of Pretoria. Welcome. Okay, fantastic. We also, if anybody is interested in qualifications and career paths, like I said, Grow doesn't specialize in this, but because there's so much confusion, we have a lot of people asking us questions about what do I need to do if I want to be a grade R teacher, or if I have this, what? So we have a ECD career path article on our website that explains exactly the different NQFs, the qualification requirements, and the different definitions. In fact, Terrell is on the call. Oh, Terrell, you are so fast. Terrell has already in the chat put a link for you to that article if you are interested. Demetria, the second question I'm getting a lot is people want to know about their legal capacity. So I have a center, maybe it's home-based, or maybe I'm thinking of renting a place. How do I know how to calculate the legal capacity, and why is that important? What does it affect?
Okay, so Helene, here we need to understand that the minimum standards requirements for capacity states that there needs to be at least 1.5 square meters of space for a child inside the space, and at least 2 square meters outside. So now what that means is you need to be able to look at your premise and then calculate the square meter footage. And then how you then work out the capacity is you would then say the square meter footage divided by the minimum square meter per child. Okay. And I think what is key here, so if I can just explain a little bit, what is key here is to understand that it needs to be unobstructed space. And in the guide, the practical guide to registering your center, we have elaborated and showed you exactly how do you calculate that unobstructed space.
Are you so this is a great example that we have on the screen now. Let's say your classroom is 4 meters by 6 meters. Now, if you do the calculation, and thank you for mentioning 1 square meter as the minimum requirement. So we've got bronze, silver, and gold registration, and is 1 square meter bronze?
Yes.
Okay, and for gold and for gold?
So it would be 2 square meters. Okay.
So for this one, in this one, we've calculated that 1.5 square meters, and then 16 learners can be accommodated in this classroom. Now, when you mention unobstructed space, is this when you have like a cupboard and a desk and things like that? Okay.
Yes. No. And also it won't count for like areas like the toilet or the kitchen. That's not accounted for.
Okay, and do you find that is what people struggle with? What tips can you give us if we want to increase our capacity?
Okay, so essentially what you want to do, say for someone who is wanting to increase their capacity, you need to start here. You need to make sure that what is your current capacity. So you need to calculate this so that you know, okay, this is my current capacity. Now, if I want to increase, and then I need to look at other alternatives, maybe I'll then need to have an extension of my premises or things like that. But it's very important. We're finding that this is very helpful, especially for people that are going through the registration process or people that are looking for premises. Because then you can be able to look at your whole business and say, how many children can I have, and look at things like how much school fees do I need to charge and all of that stuff. And it all stems from this knowing exactly the number of children that you are permitted to have.
That's perfect. That makes a lot of sense, because if I know legally how many learners I can have, and I can see how much my expenses will be, salaries and food, then I can calculate, oh, this is what I would need to charge for school fees. Okay. Also in this example, now that I think of all the schools I've visited, in some schools I see that they have shelves. So rather than a big cupboard, which takes up space, which reduces your capacity, rather you can make shelves up high then that doesn't reduce the capacity, and also kids can't get onto the equipment and things like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's true.
I'm checking in the chat. I don't see any specific questions. Ladies and gentlemen, you are very quiet. So we're going to keep talking about other topics, but feel free to let me know in the chat if you have specific questions. Some people have questions about, I'm going to exit here. I want to say something about managing staff. Let me just find, where is that? So, Demetria, I'm seeing people ask a lot of questions about staff, and that they have a volunteer. Now suddenly the volunteer is taking them to the CCMA because they thought they were employed. Can you give us just some guidelines in general for what we should consider when we are employing?
Okay. So when we are employing, definitely we have to consider certain aspects. First and foremost, you are not supposed to employ somebody that you have not entered into a contract with. You need to make sure that person has signed a contract. And what's going to guide you here is the stipulations for the Basic Conditions Employment Act. So you need to make sure that there is a contract in place that is signed by both parties. And then there also needs to be a job description, which clearly articulates what that person is going to be doing. That is very crucial. As you're going through your recruitment process, you need to understand that you can, remember, you're running a business. So you cannot just employ a friend or a relative. You've got to find personnel that is qualified for the job. And what's going to guide you again is the minimum standards requirements. What is required? Then you need to then look out for people that actually have the relevant qualifications. And also when you're managing your staff, you need to ensure that there is continuous development. And how do you do that? Make sure that they have access to training. And just to help you there, us grow, we actually have free online training for your teachers that they can do. And this will then enable your teachers to, to be equipped, with the necessary knowledge and skills that they need in this industry. Some of the popular modules that are there that are available on the app for the teachers are things like your literacy, your numeracy, or creative arts, planning and preparation. And you find that all of this, it's very important for your teachers to be able to have this kind of knowledge and skills.
Absolutely. And so when Demetria mentions contracts and job descriptions, some of you are thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to go and Google all these things. I'm going to go on that Facebook group and ask people. And no, please don't. We're going to save you a lot of time and hassle today. When you go onto the Grow Giraffe app, go to the resource section. That's where you're going to find a lot of free downloadable resources. And in the section for managing your center, there are job descriptions for teacher assistants, for teachers, and I think for a cook cleaner, Demetria, if I remember correctly. There is also a employment contract template. Right, okay. So please, we want you to get back to the job of educating learners and running a great business. We don't want you to be in the job of creating paperwork. We've helped you with that by making those for you. I'll tell you more about the training as well a little bit later. So managing staff. Can I ask you a question? I'm going to exit again because I want to come to profit. Okay, hold on. I've got a question. Okay, how many teacher assistants per class? Let's go straight there. Mwabisa says, we're still discussing the space, etc. How will I know when and how many teachers or assistants you need per class? So if you are in the process of either opening a center or if your center is open and not registered yet, I highly recommend that you download our comprehensive guide on getting your center registered. In fact, my colleague Terrell has put that link in the chat, registration guide. That will give you all the information you need and the 7 steps to get registered. And the requirements are in there, but let me go to it. Staff learner ratios. I'm just going to find that for us. Staff learner ratios. Here we go. Demetria, sorry, I'm jumping this on you. Tell us a little bit about staff and learner ratios.
Okay, so for you to be able to meet the bronze level, which is the conditional registration, you need to make sure that you have these teacher-child ratios from 1 month to 18 months. There has to be at least one staff member for one teacher for 6 children. And then from 18 months to 3 years, there needs to be one teacher for 12 children. And then when it's 3 years to 4 years, there needs to be one teacher for 20 children. And then when it comes to age group 5 to 6, there has to be one teacher for 30 children. But remember, this is for bronze registration. It's a little bit different when you're looking at the gold registration, which is the full registration. So when you're looking at the full registration, for example, the age group 3 to 4, you need to now have, 3 to 4, you need to have 10 children for one staff member. And then 5 to 6 age group, you need to have 15 children for one staff member. And also for bronze, you're required to have at least an assistant teacher for every age group. And then so you have a teacher and an assistant teacher.
Yes. So you need a teacher, and then you need an assistant for every teaching staff member. And you will find that the assistant teacher becomes very important because your primary teacher does get sick, and then who's going to look after those learners. And you also want to be able to send your primary teacher and your assistant teacher on training, and who will stand in for them. So that's quite important. Vanessa asks a great question. What is bronze and gold registration? Demetria, can you explain the differences in the types of registration? I'll see if I have a slide on it in the meanwhile.
Yes, so the Vangazzali framework came up with this developmental tool to registration, which stipulates that there is bronze, which is conditional registration, and then there's silver, which is provisional registration, and gold is full registration. So what it simply means is that if you have bronze registration, that is the entry level for registration. So in other words, that's the minimum requirements, minimum standards requirements. When you have that, if you've been given the conditional registration, which is the bronze status, it simply means that there are a few gaps that you still need to work towards. So it normally varies. Sometimes you're given 3 years, but it could be extended depending on the kind of gaps that you need to fill in. So as they come again, you could move on to provisional registration, depending on what you have, the gaps that you're filled, or you could then move straight to gold registration, which is the full registration.
Okay, and again, the differences between bronze, silver, and gold and the requirements are listed in that practical guide. Since we're on the topic of registration, let's just stay there for a minute. I want to show you one thing, 7 steps. I want to show you what resources we have available to assist you on your road to registration. So, and registration also encompasses policies, procedures, minimum norms and standards. So if you're worried about any of those things, let me tell you about 3 tools. So the first one is the practical guide to getting your center registered with step-by-step instructions that you can download from that link that Cyril has put in the chat. It's also available as a free download in the app. The second thing is Chief Everything Officer. We don't want you to go out there and sit for hours and hours creating policies, procedures, and forms. All the policies, procedures, and forms mentioned in the guide are available for free download from the app. Whether that is a business plan template, a contract, a emergency plan, a daily program guide, everything. Okay, so you can download a copy compliant enrollment form. You can download all of those from our app for free. And finally, when Demetria says they come to visit you, DBE will come to visit your center with a checklist. Now, you remember at school when you had exams. And it was great for you to work through other exams and memos, and then you knew the questions in advance. So it's the same thing we're going to do here. We're going to give you all the questions in advance, and you can evaluate yourself. So inside the app, there's a self-assessment checklist for bronze, silver, and gold across the different types of registration: ECD program and partial care. Those are the two types of registration. And you can go in there and tick for yourself whether your school is a yes, no, or not applicable on any of the questions. Demetria, it's a long checklist, hey? There's lots.
It is. It is quite comprehensive, but it's worth looking at because that's what's going to help you to fast track your registration.
Absolutely. And then if you see, for example, that let's say your kitchen isn't closed off from the learners can access your kitchen, then you know immediately, okay, well, that would be a safety risk. This for me is an outstanding item. I need to put in a gate or whatever it might be. Okay. Let me see what other questions we have. Here are the 7 steps to getting registered. So this is also included in that guide. Demetria, I'm looking at other questions that people have. Okay, so this time of the year, people are starting to think about learner assessment. I want to go to the learner assessment section, which is, where is it? Almost there. I have a lot of slides. So people are asking us about learner assessments for the different age groups. What support can Grow give?
Okay, so with regards to learner assessments, you actually have on the Grow Giraffe app a place where you can actually go and be able to assess the different learners. And the way that it's been put in place is that you are able to actually assess the various age groups. Part of giving quality education, you need to be able to give age appropriate stimulation, and you need to be able to check under that age, what is a child supposed to be doing, for example. So on the assessment checklist, you'll be able then when you're assessing a learner, you'll be able to prepare for assessment. You'll be able to check, for example, under the assessment basket, what are the things that you will need, the resources that you need. For example, do you need paper, crayons, storybook? Do you need a ball so the equipment or the resources that you need to be able to assess the learner. And then what kind of an assessment activity that you need to use, it's already readily available for each age group. Okay.
And then when you're done with the assessments, everybody wants to know, okay, the parents want the results, the principal wants the results. Where does that go?
Okay, so when you're done, you're also able to go onto the app and say, view my assessment results. Okay, so there you'll be able then to, for example, view the result for fine motor coordination or for visual motor integration, or you want to view the result for gross motor skills. And then you then go to the particular learner, and then it will then give you the report on whether the child is, for example, still developing on social or emotional development, or the child has already developed when it comes to gross motor skills, or the child meets the required standard with regards to whatever has been assessed. So it's a very detailed and well-articulated report that highlights all the areas that are needed for a child to fully develop.
And I think many preschool owners especially spend many hours doing assessments. I want to tell you more about our app in a second, because I feel like you as the owner need to start equipping and trusting your staff to help you. Because so many owners, they tell me, Helene, I'm running around like a headless chicken. I get to bed 11, 12 o'clock at night. I'm still busy with my admin. You must equip and support your staff to be able to take some of the burden from you. And this is also part of their development journey as teachers, for example. So the learner assessment is actually something that the teacher can do with her class. And then the results come to you as the principal. And you can see the results for your per class, per age group, or per individual learner. And then you can focus your energy on assessing who needs additional support or how you will adapt your program to meet the needs of your learners. So I want to—
And Helen, okay, sorry.
Go for it.
No, I just wanted to add on there to say, for example, for the principals that have their teachers on the Parents app, which is the Lion app, they're actually able now to access that particular learner's report. So if, for example, you are on the GROW program, you are using the Giraffe app, you can invite your teachers, your parents, to start using the Lion app, and which actually gives them access to see that report, the assessment report of their particular child. So,
yes,
yeah.
I was chatting to Coulson. She's a owner of Creative Kids Academy in Manenberg. And she says, her school's the most professional one in Manenberg because she's got an app, and the parents are like, wow, I can view my child's attendance records, I can see their assessment results, I can view the daily observations of the teacher, and it's all for free.
Yes.
Pindile, sorry, Pindile, I'm seeing your question now. Pindile, you're asking whether it's recommended to what is the recommended language of learning within the ECD Centre, and whether you can mix more than one language. And she says many parents want their children to know English and home language. So Pindile, I'm a marketing expert and Demetria is an ECD business expert. Neither of us are education experts. So I want to be careful to say that I don't know that we are the perfect and right people to answer this question for you. What I've heard and seen our ECD education mentors say is that English is very, very helpful for learners, especially in preparing them for grade R and grade 1. But there is also overwhelming evidence to say that home language is very important. I know that we have 1 or 2 people on this chat who might actually be better informed than me. So if anybody has an opinion or a recommendation, why don't you put it in the chat and share with us your perspective on language and language selection. I know that the GROW curriculum is in English, and that's, why? It's just because it's so expensive to produce everything in multiple languages. And as a nonprofit, we just don't have that cash money. So our curriculum is in English, our online curriculum is in English. But it would be fantastic if we could actually have that in multiple languages. I'm going to come back to the chat and see. Okay, nothing there yet. So I want to talk a little bit about the app, because many of the questions people ask can be solved by using technology, and technology can help you work smarter, not harder. You are already all working so hard. So Demetria, let's just talk briefly about how the app can help people. I'm going to go through some of the sections. Administration, paperwork, hours and hours of paperwork. How can this app help people with that?
Right. Okay. So with administration, you're looking at being able to have information about your staff and learner enrollments. In other words, you actually have the enrollment forms within the app. So you have all of the information of your learner right in the palm of your hands. With this app, you will be able to take attendance. So what we normally find is sometimes, as ECD owners, you are often busy. Sometimes you're not there at the school or anything like that. The teachers can, for example, take attendance, although it will be they will be able to take that attendance on the Meerkat app. So wherever you are, you'll be able to, for example, see or view the attendance of the children. You'll also be able to upload documents. So this would be like for the learners, like your ID and all of that stuff, for everything that's pertaining to the learners. You'll be able to upload those documents, photos of the learners as well, and the school profile management. On school profile management, you're talking in terms of just the school profile. It's all the information about the school. You'll be able to put it there, whether the school is registered or not registered, the capacity of the school, and so forth. Okay.
And that's helpful, I think, especially people worry about data and children's information, especially. So keeping documents in the cloud, password protected, all of that things actually helps to keep documents and personal information a little bit safe.
Yes.
Oh, Sandy has just made a comment. Thank you, Sandy. He's saying that if you're trying to teach in home language, in the ECD Centre we work with, for example, you would be facing 11 languages as well as children from Zimbabwe, Malawi, etc. So Sandy makes a very good logical conclusion that English does become the common ground. That's a very practical, that's very practical advice. Thanks, Sandy. Okay, so Demetria, I'm going to do my admin, do my registers on here. In fact, I'm not doing it. My teachers are going to take register. I'm just going to check it and see it. And then when I need it, I'm going to be able to download those registers. If I have a DBE subsidy and I need to report on the subsidy, my attendance registers, I can just download that. So I'm already saving time and paper. Tell me, you spoke also briefly about assessments, but just very briefly tell us about assessments.
Yes. So as we've already mentioned earlier on, you're able to do learner assessments on the app. And again, you are given the necessary tools that you need, or resources. You'll be given information on the resources that you need to be able to do those assessments. And you'll be able to draw reports from the assessments that you've done. You can also do teacher assessments, because you're not only assessing the children. Remember, we're giving quality education. So you need to be able to also assess the teachers to see, are they competent? Are there areas maybe they need further development and all that? Then we have the registration self-assessment, which Helene has already touched on, which gives you sort of like an advantage, because now you are able to see exactly what is required when it comes to partial care registration, as well as the ECD program registration. So on assessments, that is, and then you move on to finances. Well, this is where the head for the business is. So what we've done here, right in the palm of your hands, you are able to set a budget. You can do a budget forecast, for example, for the coming year, where you set your targets in terms of the number of children that you can possibly have and the kind of income that you can have, and you can clearly articulate also the expenses. What is good about this app is you're not only setting targets, you can also be able to view your performance against the set targets, okay? And we'll take you step by step on the app guide to show you how you can go about to view your performance. You will also be able to track your income and expenses, but you don't get to track if you don't input, isn't it? So you need to record. You need to record your income and expenses. And again, the app has excellently put in place a platform for you to be able to clearly articulate all the income that is coming in versus the expenses, so that you can again see how your business is doing. You can make corrective action in areas where you probably need to correct, or maybe you are spending more, or things like that. So that's a tracker, and that is something that will help you. It's a profit and loss indicator. And then again on the app, we have the tools section. Now in this section, you have access to the curriculum, okay? And on the curriculum, this is like a teacher's guide, but it's only available to those centers that are on the GROW program, okay?
Yes, so, I see, sorry to interrupt you. I do see, I think it is Lindy or Nompulelelo, who's asking about, oh no, Nompulelelo, you've got another question. It's Monine, who's asking about the curriculum. So Monine, the GROW curriculum is part of, remember I showed you the app and then the ECD Small Business Program. The curriculum is part of the ECD Small Business Program. It's not for free. You have to pay for that. So that's why in your app, that section is grayed out. And once you invest in the curriculum, which includes all the equipment for the classroom, then that becomes active. So many centers don't use the GROW curriculum. They've got their own curriculum, or they're working with another provider. So that's kind of just a special extra section that unlocks.
So again, under the tools section in our resource portal, we've made available for you for free download all the policies and procedures and templates and forms that you need. This app was tailor-made specifically for, ECD centers. So you can be rest assured we have looked at all of the documents that is required. Also, you have access to education, business, and parenting support resources in terms of modules that you can do for free online, and you can also download our reports as well.
Sure, Dimitri, I'm making you talk a lot. I'll take the next section, communication. So I think what will happen is I'll show you the Lion and the Meerkat app because people have questions about that. And then you can also use the app to access the data-free online training. Let me show you what that looks like. We have Nompulelelo, you had the question, should the app be on one phone or all teachers has access to the app? Let me explain. So let me see what is my next slide. This is what's inside the Giraffe app. This is what's inside the Giraffe app. Okay, Giraffe. The giraffe has the long, tall neck. It's tall. It looks across the entire African savanna. The lion will not dare attack the giraffe. You, the principal, the owner, you are the giraffe. You have eyes on everything. You can see everything. So in your app, you can, as you have the Giraffe app only, you can see finances, personal information of learners, income and expenses, those types of things. Okay. Teachers and parents cannot see any of that. The teacher and the parents have their own app, and the teacher's app is called Meerkat. If you've ever seen meerkats, you will know meerkats are taking care of the little ones. They're looking for danger. They're scurrying around. Your meerkats are your teachers, and they can access only the learners in their class. Okay, so they can assess those learners. They can take the daily register, and they can also add an observation for parents. So let's say Demetria wasn't feeling well today. She was very sad. She can add that as the daily observation. As the teacher, I can also access my own online training. So I can, when you, as the owner, you can motivate me, go and do that online course, get your certificate of completion, and I can be part of my own journey. The parent has only got access to their own child's information. So they can't see anything else. They can see their own child's attendance register. They can see whether you have put in fees received or fees still outstanding. And they can also download parenting resources. Does that make sense? So you could have in your school one tablet, but everybody logs out and logs into their own profile. You could share a tablet, but you're not sharing usernames. You're not sharing passwords. That is always a bad idea. All right. Vanessa asks if you can incorporate the GROW program in a special needs school. Vanessa, the GROW schools that I've all been to are very inclusive schools. I've seen schools where there are autism, physical needs. So if you have a qualified teacher who understands learners, they're able to take the activity, which is, let's say the activity is graded for a 4 to 5 year old. They're able to adapt it, let's say to the 2 to 3 year old level, which we explain in our curriculum. So again, I'm not an education expert. If our head of education, Lisa, was here, she'd give you a much better answer than me. But the short answer is that, yes, I have definitely seen the GROW program being adapted for special needs learners. It's not specifically designed for it, though. It's definitely adaptable. Okay. I am just checking our time. We have 12 minutes left, so I want to prioritize. Lots of people want additional training and resources. So I'm going to go to this section. And Demetria, will you just tell us briefly about the online training? And then I'll tell people about the accelerator. And then we can go into more questions.
Okay. So when it comes to online training, as it says, we do have data-free courses on the app. And some of our popular courses are courses such as the Teacher Development Program, the Learner Assessment, Teacher Assessment Program. We also have courses such as the Parenting, Skills, Ethics, budgeting, me and my money, which helps you a lot to be able to manage your finances. We also have the Introduction to the Grow program, marketing your preschool, which is very important. And we've put in place also relevant tips that can possibly help you to market your center. And there's also registration requirements, and we also talk about the NCF. So
awesome. So
yeah,
there's a lot. So marketing your preschool and registration was launched last week. The National Curriculum Framework and Understanding the Framework, I think, is live right now, or maybe like tomorrow. And then the next one that we are working on is fundraising for your preschool. Oh my goodness, what a topic. We definitely want to do that one next. So, so this is data free. Your teacher or yourself you need like a little bit of data to log in. And then you can sit with your phone or your tablet at home with your cup of tea and chill and work through this at any time that you want. Celeste is asking if the app is available on a laptop. So Celeste, when we designed this app, we knew we had a limited budget, and designing an app is expensive. So we decided to stick to an Android app for now. We are hoping to have the app updated for a laptop and a iOS or Apple version soon. But again, everything takes time and money. So right now, if you have an Android phone or an Android tablet, you can download the app on there. The data-free training, I know that once you have your account, you can access the training on any internet browser. So the training you could do from your laptop. Maria on Facebook asks, at our center, we assess children every month end, but I saw on the app it says I can assess children only in December. Why is that? Oh, Maria, that is an interesting question. It shouldn't be like that. I think assessment is open at all times. I think it might be that you need to archive or save the assessment, and then a new assessment will open. I think that might be it. Terrell, won't you put the app help desk number on the chat and in Facebook? Maria, I think that is something that our app help desk will be able to answer for you. So if you have questions about the app, you're literally busy with it and thinking, oh, how does this work? Our app help desk is available during office hours. You can WhatsApp the help desk, you can call the help desk, you can email the help desk, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. So don't be stuck. Don't be stuck and think you need to talk to Helene. The app help desk is just a WhatsApp away, and we'll share that details with you, and Tyrell will put it on there as well. Maxine is very late. Sorry about that, Maxine. Don't worry, ESCOM can be blamed for everything. We will record this meeting and we will share it with you. Okay. Training. I want to tell you about our ECD Small Business Accelerator. What we realized is that there are so many people out there running preschools, and they want to take their preschool to the next level. They want to know about becoming profitable, becoming sustainable, being compliant, achieving registration status, and most importantly, making sure that the learners are developmentally on track and that learners are developing. So we developed our accelerator as a 6-week course. Don't worry, not full 6 weeks, one Friday or one Saturday for 6 weeks. So you can book a Friday or a Saturday session and come for 6 weeks, and you will be learning about personal leadership, personal resilience, managing your money, how to run a preschool like a business, sustainability, financial sustainability, what it takes to provide quality education, the steps to get registered, and how to work smarter using technology. We'll also introduce opportunities for you if you need access to low-cost ECD finance. Okay, so if you are interested in the accelerator, please check out our website or check out the link that Tyrell is sharing with you in the chat right now. Applications for our April intake is now open. And this is the cheapest, amazing training you can get ever. It costs us about 2,500 to 3,000 Rand to provide the training. You will only pay 600 Rand. You are getting notes, you're getting lunch, you're getting a certificate, and most importantly, a professional facilitator is training you. So sign up now, limited spaces. We're taking applications for the April intake. right now? Let me check. I see we have a question from Sandy. Sandy asks, is the business owner in-person training or online? So this accelerator training that I'm talking about now is in person at our office. This is at our office. You cannot learn this online. We're going to take you in person as a group to a whole new level. The other training is online. Let me see what else we had on our list. We have how many minutes left? 7 minutes. Demetria, tell us a little bit about reports. I have a section here on reports. When you put data into the app, you can get the data back out of the app. Where are these reports? What can I get and how am I going to use them?
Okay, so you go there to My Tools on your app, and then on My Tools, you're going to click the reporting. And then from reporting, you go to user reports. And then you have access to quite a number of reports, reports such as the learner fee review report, which will give you all of the details of the payments of the learners. And then you will also have a learner attendance report. And you can also view the last year's financials. So there's quite a lot of reports that you can access here.
Teacher assessment. So I want to show you a report example that Demetria shared with me. And she says this is a great report. So many of you think you need a bookkeeper. You're going to pay your bookkeeper 2,000 Rand a month. But only if, I'm telling you, if you use this app well, your bookkeeping is not take the cash and put it in your bra. That is not money in, money out. You need to log it on the app. So tell us how this works and how it benefits you.
Okay, so essentially, as we said, what you want to do is you want to record your transactions. So for example, you want to record your expenses as you're incurring the expenses. So say for the month of January, this particular center, for example, would have had those kind of expenses. So they spend, let's say, for example, 250 on airtime, bank charges, they spent 325, and they had a little bit of contingency there of 1,000 Rand, and they spent money on food and electricity was 4,500. And so you want to record each and every expense. Remember, you get what you put in. So if you don't put in all of the information, your report equally won't be beneficial to you. So after simultaneously as you are recording the expenses, you are also recording the income. So what is the income? So this would be the school fees of the children. Okay, so as the children are paying, what you're simply doing is you're going onto My Business and you're recording their fees. So each child, you record what they have paid. And then as you scroll down, Helene, you will then see that this report will then show you. So if you also have got any other income, such as, the DSD subsidy, for example, you could put it there, or any other income that you might have had within the course of the month, you can also record it. And then you also need to record, as part of your expenses, the salaries. So you also record the salary, your salary as an ECD owner, and you also record the salaries of the teachers. Now, there is at the bottom there, the grand total. So that one is the one that's showing you whether you've made a profit or a loss. Okay, so in this case, for the month of January, we can see that the center made a profit of 13,310 rands. Okay, and how was she able to see this? Is because she captured everything. She was able to put in all of her expenses and all of her income that she received, and at the end, she can see that she made a profit of 13,000. So when you're recording for February, you will do the same thing. So at the end of the year, for example, you can use now this information to be able to see or to guide you when you're doing your budget forecast. You see, so because now you know the months where you spend, for example, more on food, or, for example, if you're having more children, you're most probably going to be spending more on food, because again, that's a variable cost. It's going to increase with the number of children. So then you make provision for that amount. You know the months that you're not going to make a lot of money in terms of school fees collection. Months such as December, for example, where not too many parents are paying their school fees. So already by looking at this picture, you are able to plan ahead. And that is what we want our centers, or that is what we are encouraging centers to do, to be able to do a financial planning based on the data that they have generated of the business performance.
That makes a lot of sense to me. So all I need to do is, as I have expenses, I capture it on the app. As I get the fees in, I capture it on the app.
Yes.
Then I can start seeing where the trends are. Oh, this learner always paying late. This learner skips every 2 months. Or this, or food. Why is food going up so much? What is on my menu? How can I be cost effective while offering nutritious food? And the information really will help to guide me. So you don't have to be a bookkeeper to keep your books. All you need is the discipline to capture your income and your expenses. And then you can download that type of report that I just showed you, download that. And let's say you have an NPO or you need audited financial statements, and you hand over that for your auditor or your bookkeeper, and they can easily do your records for you. All right, it's 4 o'clock already. There are a lot of other things we could have chatted about, but I think we covered so much today. Thank you to everybody who was here. We will definitely host another session such as this later. And I encourage you to check out our YouTube channel. Previous webinars that we have recorded are already available on our YouTube channel. There's one on marketing your center, registration. But now we also have this amazing online training. So actually go for the real thing. Go for the real thing. In your app, go and get the training modules on there. And reach out to us if you have any other questions. Demetria, give us your final thoughts. You know, we need some motivation. We need encouragement. Tell us.
Okay, so I think what I would want to say is, I know that we're seeing this, a lot of our ECDs actually want to run their businesses as a business, as opposed to running it as a charity. So my advice to you is, if you want to run your business as a business, use the business principles, the simple business principles. And some of these principles include budget. You need to have a budget in place. You need to track your income and expenses, track your finances, but also more importantly, record so that you'll be able to track. You need to determine, for example, what we call your break-even fee, so that you'll be able to know exactly how much should you be charging, as opposed to just charging because everyone else in the community is charging the same amount of fees. So I know that you already have the heart for the children, but we want to encourage you to have the head for the business. The head for the business, sorry.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. It's TD Martel asks for the link to the YouTube channel. Yes, good idea. We will share that on the chat if we have a minute. I will also include it in the email tomorrow. So tomorrow around 4 o'clock, you'll get an email from Zoom saying thank you for attending, and the link to this recording will be in there, as well as links to the accelerator, the app help desk number, the YouTube channel and things like that. We'll make sure that that is in there. If you are already an app user, here's my final thought. If you're already an app user and you want to stay connected with Grow, my question to you is, are you getting our emails, and are you on our app WhatsApp group? So our app WhatsApp group is not like other WhatsApp groups where you get lots of nonsense every day and it's admin only. So if you're an app user, make sure you chat to the help desk to make sure that you are on the WhatsApp group, and that you're also getting the official emails from Grow, so that when we have new opportunities, new training and new events, we can invite you. Finally, I would just say, may God bless all of you, the amazing work that you are doing. May He protect you, may He protect the children that you are working with. It is important work that you are doing, and you're taking care of very special young people who will become our future South African citizens. So God bless you and best of luck. We'll see you at the next webinar. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.